very commonly we're working on a scenario and all of a sudden we find ourselves with something like this as the solution. So we need a way to actually figure out what this really means. So what we do is actually use a little bit of geometry. Now if I take a look at arc sine of x, remember the inverse of a trig function is an angle. So I can say that theta is equal to arc sine of x. So this is actually cosine of some angle theta, like you would expect. So now, if I start working with this, I can say, well, then sine of theta must be equal to x, simply by taking sine of both sides. Well, from this, I can draw a right triangle. And if this is theta, if sine is equal to x, remember sine is the side opposite over the hypotenuse, so this is actually x over 1. This must be x, this must be 1. That means this must be the square root of 1 squared, which is just 1, minus x squared. So now I have all three sides of the triangle. So what I need is cosine of this angle. So cosine of theta, because arc sine is theta, well, cosine is defined as the side adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that's equal to the square root of 1 minus x squared divided by the hypotenuse, which is 1, which obviously there's no really reason to write it in. So cosine of arc sine of x is equal to the square root of 1 minus x squared, which is kind of cool because we just went from a transcendental function involving trig functions to something that is in fact algebraic. So we can apply this exact same thing here to secant of arc sine of x minus 1. Now I know that this is just theta, so what I really have is secant of theta, but theta is equal to arc sine of x minus 1. So if I take sine of both sides, that then implies that sine of theta must be equal to x minus 1. So again, I can draw my right triangle, and I know this is theta, but sine is side opposite over hypotenuse, so this must be x minus 1 over 1. So this is the square root of 1 squared, which is 1, minus x minus 1 squared. So now I need secant of this angle. Well, go back to your basic trig definitions, and you know that secant of theta is equal to 1 over cosine of theta. So cosine of theta is square root of this divided by 1. So 1 over that is 1 over this. So the solution is going to be 1 over the square root of 1 minus x minus 1 squared. And of course, you can expand this and simplify it and so forth. But in a nutshell, there's your solution. Now, these type of things we will run into quite frequently. They pop up solving all kinds of problems. You see them quite a bit in Calc 2 and in Calc 3.